pick 'em or what?
Shut up.
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest? Sure. Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town? Sure. I can't hear you. Sure.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rhythm Section Podcast. That is Jeff.
That's Derek.
Thanks for being here today, as always. This podcast is brought to you from SRP Studios. Check out ShelbyRowProductions.com to learn more about the business that powers this thing. But before we get any deeper, Jeff, let's tell everyone where they can find our beautiful little faces.
Show enough. Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, all the good places.
All the good places. 6 p.m. launch every Monday on Facebook and YouTube. And then in the morning on the audio presentation. And check out our link tree. Go to our description. Click that link tree. That will take you to every platform that Jeff and I just talked about. Patreon. You guys are stepping up in a big way. We love it. Click that Patreon link. Sign up for the tip jar. It's $1 a month. If you could spare it, it would go a long way for us. And as always, parental discretion is advised. What's going on, my friend Jeff?
Man, not much. Had a great weekend. I know you had a busy weekend as well.
Very, very busy weekend. And feeling it.
Yeah.
Definitely feeling it. So yeah, later on, we're going to talk about the Blackberry Smoke Show.
Sweet.
That I went to at the Ryman in
That's
Nashville, Tennessee.
Good place to go.
It was a good weekend. And today's guest is Danny McGreger. He owns Sweet Lorraine's Guitar right here in Hernando. So we got a local.
Yep.
Danny's a good guy. Looking forward to sharing our interview with him. And we're going to give more details here later in the intro. But Jeff, as always, I like to throw it to you to throw some updates and announcements. And what do you got for us today?
Well, and you mentioned this right before we came on the air, and I guess I will talk about it really quick because I've already made a big post about my weekend and what I did.
No one reads
Saturday.
your post, Jeff.
I think a few people read them now. One or two.
A lot of people read them.
But yeah, I went to Friday night. I went to see the Carlos Echoes band. Phenomenal band. I don't know all the members' names. Billy Little was playing bass. That's a throwback from the Thrust days here in Memphis. And I know Carlos. I just learned, this is so funny. We're sitting at the table and somebody mentions that Gun Down Mary, which was another original band here in Memphis that you don't know about from back in the day. And I've known Carlos, who he was, for quite a while, but I kept thinking he looked really familiar, but I never could place where from.
Because we did meet him in person at Neil's one night.
And somebody said he was in Gun Down Mary, and I instantly said, well, that's where I know the guy from, but he had a lot more hair back then.
So did we all.
Just like all of us. So that was cool. That was a good time. And then I left there and went over to South Main Sounds and met Danny Day, watched a little bit of the songwriters contest there. And then Saturday night was a blast. Went to Sidecar South Haven and saw 901 Rocks. They are as good as everybody's told us they are.
Yeah, and the pictures you guys were posting, you and John Patterson and Tim Dills, it looked like you guys had a lot of fun.
Danny Day was there as well. My wife was there. My son was there. Johnny Lamb showed up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw the picture.
So,
yeah, there was this great picture of John Patterson, Johnny Lamb, you, and your son.
All the drummers.
All the drummers in the house.
That was cool.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go. I just wanted the drummers to have a night.
And John got up and actually played with the band and did Phantom Rider, which was really cool to watch.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Had a good time. The other things I want to mention real quick, Grace Musicians Group. You guys have heard me talk about this organization before. Brian Fagan up in New York. Another one of his artists that I want to mention real quick is Six String Crossing. It's a country act, really good band. I've checked them out on YouTube. They've got a couple of songs, Always Doing Wrong and Cousin's Song. So if you like country music, check them out on YouTube and see what they're about. Really fun stuff. And I want to mention February 25th.
Yep.
Area 51 is putting on a show at Hadley's. starts at 9, and it is a celebration of Pete Mendello.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the main purpose of this, and another purpose is probably to let everybody see who their new drummer is going to be.
Ooh.
And I did see Josh mention that this is not the official celebration of Pete's life. That's going to come later. There's going to be a big celebration. I hope.
Yeah.
I haven't.
There will be.
Yeah.
And this is probably just a jam, right?
This is Area 51's celebration of Pete.
Yeah.
Because that was their drummer.
He'll have a celebration of life, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely do everything I can to be for that one. And I plan on going to Hadley's.
Cool.
I have it booked. In my calendar. You know, it's cool because whenever I'm guessing Josh is the one that makes these posts, it's always like Area 51 obliterates, devastates.
Right.
This one celebrates.
Right.
So, well, that's good, man. I hope it's a good turnout. I hope a lot of good musicians show up. There'll be a lot of people sitting in. I'm sure it'll be a jamboree. But well, thanks, man.
Yep.
And
we know what that is.
New patrons, everybody.
Cool.
So we got Tiffany Temple. I'm gonna skip over the middle name. Tiffany Temple. Thank you for signing up to our tip jar. And Sean Few, the author of this.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate you, man.
Most of us know him as Sean Skinny Jeans Few.
I'm anxious to have him in here because, he wasn't a fan of my dad jokes.
No.
You know what? So there.
He's going to bring his own dad
He has something
jokes.
to say about my dad jokes and said he was going to bring some in. So
we
I
go.
can't wait to hear what your dad jokes bring.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so I had an interesting weekend too, man.
Yeah.
I went to Nashville and hadn't been there in a while, but I still have a few friends out there left. A lot of band members and friends over time have moved back home. Like my friends from Maine that I moved down with, they're back home. The a band I played with for years, Mackenzie's Mill, did a lot of running with them. Fronted by two brothers, Ryan and Justin Harris from North Carolina. They've, after 10 years, decided, you know what? It's time to do something different. So they moved. So I just have a few people left, but it ended up where the few people I did know, or I still know out there, were all playing.
Yeah.
So I had a full weekend at Nashville and have done something I haven't done in years, and that's actually bar hop on Lower Broadway, minus the drinking.
Yeah, no drinking.
No drinking, but still, But so I'll get into that. So Friday night is Blackberry Smoke at the Ryman.
Sweet.
The Ryman Theater, which was the reason why I was going. My friend Terry, you've met her, took me as sort of a way to celebrate the ribbon cutting that we just had for the business, which was fun and stressful.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad that's over for you.
Oh man. and it's also the 6 months of putting the studio together.
Oh, yeah.
It just kind of capped it. That's a whole other topic there, but yeah, open for business. And I'd only seen one band before at the Ryman. It was Keith Urban, but it was like this thrown together kind of jam with just a drummer and a bass player, a little 3-piece deal.
Right.
And it was really good. It was really cool. But now I got to go see a big band.
Right.
And Chris Shiflett, the lead guitar player from the Foo Fighters, has a little 3-piece. He opened.
Cool.
Pretty good. It was fun. And then anyone that is a fan of Blackberry Smoke, I'm a new one over the last year. I saw them at Graceland Live for the first time. They are just fucking great, man.
Mm-hmm.
They get such a big sound.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so tight with each other. The 3 guitars, keys. They have like a second percussionist. The drummer is like all about that back pocket,
Right.
So we had good seats, and yeah, man, it was a good 2-hour show.
Right.
Have you ever listened to much of their stuff? I know you got jealous I didn't take you. But.
Yeah, no, I'm not an avid follower, but I've watched some videos on YouTube, and no question, they're slamming. I mean,
and honestly,
tight.
neither am I really.
Yeah.
I'd heard about them.
I think they're the kind of band that you don't have to be in order to like them.
Oh, God, no.
Like, you don't have to follow them in everything they do and release.
No.
You can just go out to YouTube and go, I'm going to check this out. And you're like, wow, that's good.
One of the songs, Good One Coming On, I think. You know, Mackenzie's Mill covered that song.
Okay.
So that's how I knew Blackberry Smoke.
Gotcha.
That's it, though.
Right.
And to this day, I don't pull up their albums and listen. I just went to a show for last year.
Yeah.
And on a whim. And I was like, these guys are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They're a live band. They've been around for 20 plus years.
Right.
And they're great. So anyone that gets a chance to check out Blackberry Smoke, they smoke.
Yeah.
Smoking. So that was my Friday night. That was a whole lot of fun. And then it turned out where Saturday, my 3 main friends that I played with in Mackenzie's Mill, Tim Pasley on lead guitar, Sam Burse, also another guitar player, great slide player, and then my man Shane Hoskins, the guy I've toured with the most, drummer.
Right.
And he was part of my casino era too.
Sure.
I mean, he and I have been friends and playing together for a long time. Well, I've lost touch with all these guys over time. Well, turns out all 3 of them were playing in 3 different areas. You know,
Okay.
So my friend Shane was playing Big Shots, Tim was playing Valentine's, and Sam was playing this really cool lounge at this new bar called 1230, all Lower Broad.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And then I went to Tin Roof, saw this other band that I didn't know anyone. I don't even know their name. Just walk in any bar, you get bands playing. So I managed to hit 5 places on Broadway. Dude, I haven't done that since I moved down there and was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
In 05.
Right. I haven't been down there in a long time. And from what you've told me, it's nuts.
It's a shit show.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's hard. It's hard to hang on a weekend night.
Yeah.
You know, you can branch off on some of the side streets like 2nd Ave, which is where Big Shots are at. It quickly dissipates and you have places you can sit back and really chill and listen to some music. Yeah. Otherwise, man, Lower Broad's like a nightclub strip now.
Yeah.
You know, and then you walking down the street and you have 50,000 snare drums hitting all at different times.
Yeah.
It's like hell on earth, but you know, it's still Nashville. It's cool. It was nice to be there and it was nice to come home. So I'm exhausted too.
Yeah.
Sunday, as we record this, we're actually recording on a Monday this week.
Yeah.
Because we had an interview guest cancel.
Right.
And that was a blessing. Because I could stay in Nashville a couple extra hours and take my time getting home.
Both of us were pretty tired on Sunday. When they canceled, I was not hurt.
Nope. And no hard feelings here.
Oh, no.
It was what it was. And we're not going to call the person out.
No, but we would have been here and we would have done it. But,
of course.
But when they canceled, I was like, I can sleep.
Yes.
I don't have to go to Hernando. It's kind of nice.
It wasn't very hard for you and I to be like, Monday.
Right.
Doing it Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
Well, awesome, man. We had some serious weekends, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So, and I'm looking forward to, having another Memphis weekend soon. So.
Yeah. All right, let's set up Danny.
Yeah. So Danny McGreger, I met Danny, well, even before I moved to Hernando, I knew of the store.
Right.
You know, I'd been there before. And Danny's just a classic, small business owner. It's a small, music store, and he gives tons of lessons. That's really if you walk into his store, he's the only one working always. He never has anyone else helping him with the cash register, and he's always got a student. So he balances helping customers, and he's just a workhorse like that. And it's a cool little spot. Very moderate pricing. It's not like a crazy overpriced boutique place.
Right.
He has very affordable stuff. If you have a kid that wants to start playing guitar, go to Sweet Lorraine's Guitar. You get a nice guitar for a really good deal. I had him on the Real Hernando podcast last year. He was my second interview. It was early on. He was a guest. We recorded it right in his store. And ever since then, I patronize his place. If he doesn't have something I need, then, I go to the mighty Guitar Center. But, my strings, I take all my guitars to him to get them set up.
Cool.
He has a vendor guy that he works with, but I just give him the business, and just over time, just had that kind of friendship, So when this thing popped up,
right,
I went straight to his store and told him, hey,
come do it.
Let's do this. But because you had gone so crazy with booking guests.
It took a while to get him in.
I mean, I want you on the podcast, man. Can you book in 3 months?
Yeah.
No, it was cool.
Yeah. It's getting further and further out.
I know.
I need to slow down.
I'll see a Google alert for the calendar for like June, July. But that's fine though. I mean, you're starting to really get some heavy hitters, man.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
Looking forward to it. We've now got Keith Douglas is actually scheduled from Tora Tora. I'm working on Anthony Quarter.
Man,
I've been back and forth with him a couple of times. I think that's going to work.
Man, bring it on.
Now I got to get in touch with Patrick, the bass player, and make that one happen.
All right, more people I've never met.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's okay.
I'm making new friends, baby.
I haven't met these guys either, except maybe I met Patrick at Strings and Things years ago when he was working there.
Yeah, I came in after Strings and Things. I never got to see that place. Now it's Minglewood Hall, right? Same place.
That is right. Yeah.
So
it was a great guitar shop. Well, music store.
Yeah.
It was our version of Guitar Center before Guitar Center existed.
Speaking of Minglewood, Tora Tora is coming.
They are. April the 15th. We have tickets.
Did you buy me one?
I did.
Oh,
you're covered.
All right.
Yeah, that's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to take you to the next Blackberry Smoke show.
Okay.
All
right. Sounds
good. Back to Danny.
Sorry, Danny.
Sorry, Danny. So he was great. He came in. We talked about his band, Lately David. We played one of his songs. It's called My Best Advice. And talk about the name of the store, the history behind that. Just, and had a good time. He's a fun guy.
And you saying the name of the song reminds me of how I lost my composure during this interview. People are going to find it pretty funny. I got very tickled at myself and almost fell out of my chair over here. So that's going to be kind of funny.
Well, there's a really...
Unless that got edited out.
No. And then there's a really funny one at the end of Jacob Turner's interview.
Oh, that one's good too.
There was I'm actually going to clip that out. And make it a post.
Well, you can clip this out too.
I'm going to cut your ass right out of it. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No. Well, yeah, man. Good weekend.
Yep.
Had by all. I think we've talked enough. What do you think?
We're done. Let's let these people see the interview.
So again, one more time, the date for Area 51 Celebrates?
That one is February 25th at Hadley's at 9 p.m.
Awesome. Don't miss that. Please don't miss that. And again, thank you to Tiffany Temple and Sean Few for signing up on our Patreon tip jar. It means the world to us. So
right.
It's awesome.
It does.
All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you enjoy this interview with Danny McGreger.
Thanks, guys.
What's going on, Jeff?
Hey,
Check
man.
this out. This is a first, and I'm very excited about this.
Cool.
Finally, we have someone on the show that I knew first. This is my get.
Yep.
And I couldn't ask for a better guest under that category. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Danny McGreger.
Well, thank you for saying that. That was kind of you.
Absolutely. You own Sweet Lorraine's Guitar Shop.
That's true.
In Hernando. Yep. I have it here. We'll talk more about it too, but 2521 Caffey Street, Hernando, right in the town square is your music store.
Absolutely. Aspiring musicians, come see me.
So
yes.
you had to drive a long way to come to this interview.
Right down the street. That's convenient.
And then now let's get into a little backstory here.
Sure.
I want to give some people context on how I know you.
Okay.
And how cool this is to have this moment with you. It's really cool.
Well, thank you.
So I started this podcast called The Real Hernando, and I've mentioned that here and there in this podcast.
Yep.
It's something that I developed late 21 and launched in February of 2022. And you were my second interview on a very young podcast, so I'd launched with my buddy Robert as like an introduction episode. Then the first interview was Area 51 Ice Cream.
Good ice cream.
Then you were nice enough to record on a podcast that didn't exist yet. I couldn't even show you what it looked like.
Oh,
because
you couldn't tell. You came in like a professional.
Well, the thing is, in order to publish, you need an episode. You need you need content edited and prepared. So,
and you had none of that.
I had none of that.
That's okay.
Website was getting there.
I'm a very trusting person.
So, put it this way: we recorded in December. It didn't launch until the following February.
Gotcha.
So it took a minute. But you were nice enough to have us do the episode right in your store. That was really cool.
It was good times.
Yeah. So check it out. Go to therealhernando.com and go digging through the archives and He's at the bottom, unfortunately. He's like on page 3 right now.
Maybe at some point we'll do an episode of the rhythm section from his store. That'd be kind of
man.
That'd be great fun.
That'd be kind of fun.
All right.
So since then, over time, I've popped in and purchased some stuff, and we're always friendly, and you're always friendly to me, and kind of struck up that first name relationship. And then I got this place. In fact, I remember talking about this place with you when I just leased it, like it was empty, and I was buying strings or something. And
you came in floating on air. You were very excited.
Yeah.
And you made me very excited about it. Like, I've got to be there. I want to be a part of that.
And I told you, I was like, you're going to be a part of it. I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
You're going to be up in there.
Oh, here we are.
And then we won't retell the whole story with me and Jeff starting this podcast, but it is what it is now. And it's great. And we've had a good, couple months doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And of course you were on the list immediately. Like I were like, in my world of people that I know, you came up. I was like, I got to have Danny on. This would be too cool.
Well, that's kind. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So here we are, full circle. You are in the place I was talking about, and we're going to learn a little more about you. And the Real Hernando, hey, check this out. If you want to learn more about his life and history, go to the Real Hernando. Check that out.
Yep.
We got a little talkative on that episode, didn't we?
Well, no, it's about the story.
Right.
And it's what really we're doing with all our guests is it's the story, and then who they play with or write, or Danny Day's a photographer, But where are you from is usually where it starts. And we're going to tie it in. We're going to do that here too a little bit, but trying to push people to the other podcast. For the life story, we already have that.
Right.
This is part 2, just a different podcast, so we can talk more music.
Yeah, this will be more focused on the music.
Yeah, and with that said, as you heard in the intro, we will be playing a song soon. All right, man. Well, thanks for your time today. I appreciate it. We're gonna have to. Derek talks too much.
It's never that short.
Shut up, eh?
Yeah.
There we go. Danny McGreger.
Yes.
So there we go. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
So how long have you been on the square?
Let's see. The store's been on the square for 5+ years. The store's been in business for over 8 years.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's right. It was around the corner, right?
It was a tiny little 2-story house around the corner, hidden away for a few years. Got the opportunity to move into a more visible location and took that chance. And it's
Jeff, you should see how busy this guy is in the store, because you're the only one that works there, and you give lessons all day.
I do.
So he's up from a lesson to help someone.
That's cool.
Takes care of them, goes back to the lesson. It's just like that all day.
It's a busy life, but I love it. I mean,
Yeah.
Teaching kids to play music for a living, it doesn't suck at all.
Absolutely.
That's pretty great.
Absolutely. I will be glad to come in the store and hit on something some of these days if you just want me to just.
Yeah, I mean drums, right?
Yeah, I do. Or anything else.
Okay. Just
Give me a
don't harass the customers.
Give me a drumstick. I'll hit anything.
Oh, just take a bass and start hitting an amp with it.
Yeah.
So again, in our first talk, we talked about the name of the store.
Right.
So I remember that it was not your wife.
No,
your wife is not Lorraine, but there was a song, and I cannot remember the song or band that it came from.
Okay, so the story you're remembering parts of the story perfectly.
Refresh my brain, please.
Here's
Soccer.
the thing. No, that's fine.
Right.
So, but there's a hole that I'll fill in. Years ago, I'd written a song called "Sweet Lorraine."
Okay.
And it's a terrible song. No one will ever hear it. But even when I wrote the song, I thought the title had a ring to it.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, that'd make a cool name for a record store, old vinyl shop, Sweet Lorraine's.
Sure.
Vinyl, records, whatever, right? I don't know anything about vinyl. I'm never going to open a record store. But when I opened up the guitar shop, the name was still hanging around. No one knew that it was an actual song of mine. So I used the name, and that's how the name came to be.
Mm-hmm.
Since that time, in the 8 years that I've been in business, I've been informed many times now that there are plenty of songs called Sweet Lorraine by bands or artists as diverse as Uriah Heep.
Okay, that's the band I was trying to think of.
There you go.
Yes.
I'm filling in all the gaps.
Yeah.
And Cab Calloway.
Okay.
Had a song called Sweet Lorraine in a the jazzy style of the day. And so, there are a number of songs called Sweet Lorraine, that you should listen to instead of the one that I wrote called Sweet Lorraine.
Do you get any cease and desist orders and delivered to you in the mail?
Well, no, because no one's heard it. No one seems to care. Cap Calloway certainly doesn't care that I've borrowed the name of the song for my store name.
Well, let's continue with the store and let's talk about what you have in there. I'm sure everyone's interested, to know what kind of equipment that you deal with.
It's a guitar shop, primarily a guitar shop. I've got my main brands. I've got Fender guitars and basses. I've got acoustic guitars from Washburn and then more accessible brands as well to get first-time players, professional players, everybody in between can find something that they can afford, that they can enjoy playing, and they can take home with them.
Yeah.
And
you have deals constantly.
I try.
Follow, and we'll mention this in the intro. Everything's in the description. Follow both Danny and Sweet Lorraine's Guitar on Instagram and Facebook, because it's all day, every day. There's posts about deals.
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah, man, that's great.
I probably should have done a little bit more research on this particular episode and gone to the store and checked it out, but I have slacked ass, and so here we are.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you now. And you're welcome anytime.
I'm learning all about it now.
So I'm going to pick on Jeff right now.
Sure.
So all of his guests that he books.
Yeah, you're right. I know
I'm
where
on
this is
top
going.
of this shit.
He is.
I book one.
I just apologized.
That's why he has the blue background.
That's right.
Not the cool black like we have.
That's why I'm the sidekick. I'm not the guy in charge.
Ed McMahon he set the precedent for good sidekicks.
Absolutely.
Though. You're the Ed McMahon.
That's right. You show up drunk, laughing in the background.
Did I just say a little something about our age by mentioning Ed McMahon as opposed to?
Oh no,
no.
Okay,
it's good stuff. But I'm a Letterman child.
Okay, then you're the Paul Schaefer.
So yes. Yes, Will Lee, the bass player, one of my favorite bass players.
Ed was way cooler.
He's a chameleon. He can play anything.
Right.
That's what I love about him. And the whole band. They all do that.
Yep.
Right. Of course, I'm a bass player, so I dive into.
And there's a Beatles relationship. I see the Beatles shirt because he's what's his band name?
He does it with Jimmy Vivino from the Conan band.
Conan's band, right?
I can't remember the name of them, but they're great. They sell out theaters.
He's a fantastic guitar player.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, cool. So that's the store. Let's talk about your band, Lately David.
Lately David. That's a band I'm in. Yes, absolutely.
All right. So we in the pre-interview we talked about what does this sound like, and that obviously is the question that always comes up. But when did we form? Who are the members?
And make sure you name all the members, because Tim Dill's already got in trouble for that shit. So.
Yes. And that's another thing. People get nervous because they might forget a name.
Yeah.
Right?
We forget them all the time, but they're not my band.
Right. No. So I'll stall on the names by describing the style and all that. So but in the background, I'm like a duck here. I'm graceful above the water, but I'm searching for names.
There you go.
Underneath the water. So I'm kidding, guys. I know your names. So you mentioned, what do we sound like? And of course, I mean, every band gets that. Particularly every band that writes and performs original music gets that. What do you sound like? Who do you sound like? What kind of music do you play? And it's rock and roll music. I suppose that there's a term called power pop music that actually came about in the late 60s. And in the 70s and then the 80s, certain bands kind of fell into that category. And I think we also fall into that category. It's 3-minute rock songs that have a hook. Yeah. Right?
What else can you ask for?
Right. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just pop music played loudly. That's so. I think we happen to fall into that category. But when you say we play power pop music, the normal Joe, rightfully so, goes, I don't know what that means.
Right.
And they don't have to know it's just rock music. My God, it's just rock and roll music.
Right. So,
do I really need to say the names?
Yes,
of the guys?
You should do that.
Okay.
We're gonna put you on the fire now.
Absolutely. So my lead guitar player, his name is Ryan Temple. And he plays in another couple of bands around town. He does fine work. He's the fieriest redhead you'll ever see on a Telecaster. On bass these days is a legal scholar named Matthew Barton.
Okay.
And drummer extraordinaire is Gabe Houston, not Houston. It's spelled like Houston, but don't you dare call him Gabe Houston. It's Gabe Houston.
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 He's a fan. Yes.
And like the same members since day one, or
No.
Well, so I'm sorry if I missed it. The year that your band
So
formed.
day one was a long time ago. Day
Okay.
one was a long time ago. And as bands do, folks have they come and go.
sure.
And so my brother in songwriting and my brother in Lately David. A few years ago now, he had found his way up to North Carolina, and he is living in the mountains now. But his name is Tommy Burton. He played bass guitar in Lately David for years and years and years. That's my my musical brother still to this day.
So
love you, man.
so how many albums do you have?
We've got I guess one proper album out, two proper albums out. That's harder than the names of the guys in the band. Sure. We got two proper albums out, and
Spotify,
and then
and
things are on
everywhere.
Spotify. Yeah. And the YouTube and the social media places.
The tentacles.
One thing that you didn't mention that I want to make sure you give yourself credit: are you the lead singer, acoustic guitar player? What do you do in the band?
So I am. I guess I'd call myself nowadays the primary songwriter, the lead singer, and I play guitar in the band.
Okay. All right.
I remember seeing some footage of you playing at Cooper Young Fest. Was it this year, last year?
So it was, let's see. It wasn't technically Cooper Young Festival, but it was, we played a couple of shows there at, what did they call that? There was the Cooper Young Porch Fest, which was fantastic. People just opened their homes throughout the community. And literally bands on people's porches.
Well, that's cool.
Throughout the entire neighborhood. I lose track of.
I lived 5 minutes from Cooper Young for 3 years and
Yes.
never knew that happened.
So I don't know. I don't know when they started. It seems to be a pretty new phenomenon. This may have just been their second one.
Okay.
Maybe, but fantastic day.
What a vibe.
It was amazing. I mean, it's a culturally diverse, interesting community anyway.
Yeah.
And literally folks open their homes and their front porches to bands, and throughout the entire community, there may have been on that Saturday more than 100, maybe close to 200 bands playing throughout this one community. And so that may have been what you've seen. It was out of this world fun.
Is there a candy giving aspect to this?
I don't know. Our host cooked a hell of a barbecue.
Oh, there you go.
But
we need to have this on our calendar.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about candy, but
Please let me know when this happens
sure.
again.
But,
Absolutely.
yeah, it was in the spring.
Okay.
But great time.
I love that area.
In a lovely community. Yeah, it was great.
Anyone that's in Memphis, I lived on Cleveland and Carr for about 3.5 years.
There you go.
Right.
And I love Midtown. It's
Yeah.
awesome. And then Madison Squares. Do you ever play out that way, or?
Yeah, we another show we did just I guess it's been a couple of months now, but at the what do they call it? I guess the gazebo there at Cooper and maybe is it at Cooper and Young? I don't know. There was it was like 400 degrees. It was incredibly hot, but we played it anyway. It was fantastic.
Now, is Lately David all original music, or do you do any covers at all?
We'll fake our way through a favorite song of ours but no, by and large, you're going to get a set. You're going to get a set of original music.
Okay,
awesome.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We love that.
Yes, we do.
Cool. All right.
You know, and it's been awesome. And I keep saying this, but I'm getting to know some Memphis bands, local bands that just have great stories. You know, and they're all characters because they write. And we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
You know, you're talking to two career cover artists over here.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued when I get to talk to actual, writers.
Yeah, people who can actually write music.
So
right.
I mean,
right.
I'm not a good enough musician to play songs that other people wrote, so I write my own, and no one knows when I mess them up.
Our goal is to sound just like the record.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's fantastic.
Right. Yeah. It's just
it's a different mindset.
Yeah.
That than we kind of bring to it,
and equally noble.
Yeah,
I think so.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we need entertainment.
Good music
out there
is good
too.
music, right?
Absolutely. So you live in Hernando as well?
I do.
Okay. Are you close to the store, or do you have any? I guess if you're in Hernando, you got to be pretty close to it.
No, I live
exactly
right down
a
the
big
road.
thing.
I'm within 2 minutes driving time of my house, 5 minutes walking time of my house right now.
Here,
Wonderful.
bro.
Yeah.
I live down the street on Mackinvale up to those apartments.
This podcast is getting hyper local.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I feel the Memphians tuning out right now. I feel like
No, I'm ready. All we've been talking about is Memphis. You know,
right?
right?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about Hernando,
So,
Mississippi, right?
But yeah, I'm right down the road, and I've lived here pretty much my entire life.
Yeah, I love being close. I mean, before the studio, my business was the corner of my bedroom
Okay,
on a computer.
Right.
I had a microphone for Zoom calls. That was my studio.
fantastic.
Now I get a brick and mortar to go to, and man, it's sweet.
Yeah,
And it's just 5 minutes away. It's great.
So let's nerd out a little bit over gear. So when you play live, what is your guitar of choice?
So for the longest time, I had a Rickenbacker 330 that I still have, but right now I'm honeymooning with a late 90s American Strat.
Okay.
I think honestly, I think I'll always go back to the Rick. That's that's really my number one.
So for a non-guitar player
Yes.
like myself,
And me.
I've always heard the term American Strat, which clearly means it's made here in America. What's the difference between an American Strat and I guess what are they, Japan if they're not made
Mexico
here?
is a big Mexico.
Okay.
Is
there a difference
these
in
days-
quality?
Countries.
These days it's pretty much it's status. It's
Is
status,
it really status?
honestly.
Okay.
Because the differences in build quality,
Sure.
they're there, yeah.
Right.
But you can build a good guitar anywhere these days.
Right.
Even guitars made overseas in China are getting better and better.
Sure.
So the Mexican-made Fender guitars they're fantastic. They're out of this world good. They're pro-level instruments.
Okay.
So yeah, when you hear someone say an American Strat, like you caught me saying it just then,
No, it's okay.
It's status.
Look, I take pride. I play DW drums and I buy collector series DWs because they're made in America.
Right.
That's just what I like to do. And I'm sure stuff made overseas by other companies is probably phenomenal and does just as good, but that's just,
I mean, if you really want to nerd out, we can get into this.
Sure.
Okay. So
Let's do it.
I'm nerding out. I'm honeymooning with this Strat currently because it seems like in the songs that I've kind of been writing over the last couple of years, here we go. The second pickup position of this Strat just seems to work in the role that I play in the band, primarily rhythm.
Okay.
There's just this fantastic guitar players sometimes call it the out of phase position. It's not really out of phase, but it's just the way these two pickups work together in a Strat just has a really unique sound that generally speaking only Strats can make.
Okay.
Sort of. And the way that this Strat does it for me.
Sure.
So that's why I'm currently honeymooning with this particular guitar. But again, there'll be a time pretty soon that I'm going to pick up that Fireglow Rickenbacker and fall back in love with it.
Cool. I mean, look, I know there are guitar players that are watching this that are just loving everything you just said, and I'm sitting here staring at you with a blank look on my face
You
like
did
I
this.
have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
I'm a bass player, a guitar player. I'm a simpleton though, so I was even like, "What?" Seriously, I plug in straight into my Ampeg. That's it. Just and it's a no-name bass, straight in, no pedals.
If you've got a bass
nothing.
that sounds good and you've got an Ampeg,
It works.
that's what you need.
I've done okay.
It works.
You're doing just fine.
Well, let's jump to the song.
Okay.
All right. So the song we want to play is My Best Advice.
Right.
Okay. And so full disclosure, we are recording this on January 2nd.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we're playing it now, but it hasn't been released now. We're coming from the past as they watch this.
Yeah.
A very, timeline continuum type stuff. But as you are watching and listening right now, it is out there on Spotify. Go check it out.
I encourage you to do so.
Yeah, so let's listen to the song and then talk about it. So the song again is called My Best Advice.
By Lately David.
Been
All right. I hope you enjoyed that. That was My Best Advice by Lately David, and written and sung by Mr. Danny McGreger right here. So thanks for letting us play that.
That song is my fault. That's correct.
So let's dig into the song a little bit.
Sure.
So what's the I don't want to say if there's a deep meaning behind it, but what's the genesis of this song?
The genesis of this was sort of two stories happening together, right? And what it was the dealing with discovering that my wife and I are gonna have another kid, and the beauty and the excitement and the utter fear that comes along with that.
I was going to say, I would have named the song "What the Hell Did I Just Get Myself Into?"
Right? Well, it was our second kid, so I knew what the hell I was getting into. So it was that combination of offering myself advice on coming to terms with all of those feelings of things that you sort of said, and also. Not one of the band members that I just had the opportunity to mention, but a previous band member had a fantastic opportunity to go and do some broadcast work out of town, and so he had to leave the band and move. But it was a fantastic opportunity. So it was I'm gaining a son, but I'm losing a brother, right? A musical brother. And it was those two stories kind of colliding at the same time. And I was, the title refers to, I'm really overthinking this. My songs are not that deep. I'm giving myself advice, but I felt like for what it was worth, I was also giving my friend advice that, no, you've got to do this. This is a fantastic opportunity for you. This is a career for you. And so.
Well, that's why I'm fascinated about talking to writers. It's so foreign to me. I just appreciate getting in the mind sometimes of how, that's how every writer is going to think different.
Absolutely.
So it's interesting to hear your method.
Right. And it was just, it was, again, I half jokingly said that most of my songs are not that deep. And this one, I don't think is either, but it was a little bit tricky to write because it was two different stories. Most of the time when you've got 3 minutes to write a couple of verses and a chorus, that's one story.
Well, right. You're up for the challenge.
And right? I hope so. But anyway, that's why perhaps the first verse may feel, if anyone, God love you, take the time to actually read the lyrics. Don't do that. You'll see that it seems a little disjointed. It's two stories that have, for me at the time, a common theme.
So, if there was a video for this song, would one portion be in color and the other in black and white? Are we talking like...
I love that. Yes, let's do that.
All right.
Let's do that.
That's right.
Good idea.
And Chris Pratt will play me.
So where did you record this?
At my home studio.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Right down the road.
Right down the road.
Sure.
I'm not going to ask about the gear in there because, I wouldn't know what you were talking about.
You need to talk to Jimmy Fulp for that. Jimmy.
For sure.
Okay.
Well,
it was a Dixon drum kit.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember the model name.
Right.
But I think it was in Dixon. Or do you still have he may have still had the pearls.
Well, look, what's so great when you build a core audience, you can almost you can communicate to them.
Absolutely.
So I want to communicate to Jimmy Fulp. Do you know Jimmy Fulp?
Only by reputation.
Okay, so I want to connect you guys. You guys are very much studio people.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys need to be connected. So Jimmy Fulp.
It's good to meet you, Jimmy.
You're going to meet Danny McGreger at some point. So, and he lives here too. He's in Hernando.
Oh, okay.
He's out past Fog Road in that side of the world. I learned that from Steve Owens. Yeah. So Steve Owens to the rescue again. Now I can stalk Jimmy too.
The stalking list is growing.
That's right.
Every week. You're going to run out of time.
Well, that's awesome. As this is released and your song is released, is there a method for you to how to promote it? What do you do to promote a new song? Let's go to that.
So social media is key these days, right?
Yeah.
Because it's inexpensive to free, and it's it can be pretty effective if you annoy people to death and do it right.
Yeah,
But
we're working on that ourselves.
But doing it right, I mean, those rules change because of the algorithm and whatever. But so what does doing it right mean? And typically for me, doing it right, just because I don't study, they've changed this algorithm and now I have to do this. It just means I got to bug the crap out of everybody and post this thing multiple times a day, knowing that, some people are going to see it way too much. But if, some people see it a couple of times, maybe they'll listen to it once. And if they happen to like it, thanks.
Yeah, you do have to push out more than one per day.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't for this podcast and my other podcast, The Real Hernando, but I should. Because I always forget. People aren't going to catch you at that post at 3 in the afternoon.
Right.
So, I can tell you this, that the song you just listened to will also be its own clip. Anyone watching this. So what you just saw with the slideshow and everything, I always cut that out of the show too and use it and repurpose it for a post. So
that's exciting. I appreciate it.
So you're going to be on Facebook with that song, and we'll tag you and do all the things we can. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I appreciate it very much.
Oh, we love doing this, man.
Yeah,
this is fun. It's exciting to have you in here. Yeah.
And I've gotten pretty good at bugging the hell out of people during the day on social media.
And there's more songs in the queue, kind of lined up and ready and being prepared for release.
Yeah. So you let us know, man.
All right.
You're right down the street. You're going to be I always say cast of characters. I'm trying to put that out there, and how I want this show to, grow and operate over time is reinvite people. Mm-hmm. It's not a one and done deal.
Right. Good.
I want a cast of characters. There's going to be people that are just going to come back in, maybe pair you up with someone that you've never met, do like a panel type of thing.
I like it.
With you being across the street, down the street, I mean, no excuse.
Oh, no excuse. Right. I'm here. I'm just going to bug you. I'm just going to, I'll do pop-ins.
So you're going to be probably the most invited guest ever.
There we go.
No. I'll be happy to be here anytime you need me.
Awesome.
Well, is there anything we're missing that you would like to talk about when it comes to either your store or your band?
Wow. I think we covered a lot of ground.
You might want to mention your wife and what her name is. I'm going to keep you out of the doghouse here.
Well, my lovely wife, Stephanie.
Okay. There you go. Stephanie, you're welcome.
Alex, do not bleep that out. And definitely don't edit it out. No, he would never do that. Well,
was that in reference to the store name Lorraine not being... Oh.
Nope, that was just keeping you in the good graces of your wife.
Okay. All right.
You come on a podcast.
I need all the help I can get.
You come on a podcast and don't tell people about your lovely wife who's awesome, and you can get in a lot of trouble.
Well, Jeff forgot and got neutered.
No, not true.
Well, we're not saying goodbye to you yet, Danny. We're going to get back to you, but me and Jeff for now are just going to address the audience a little bit with some information, right?
I suppose so.
So let's remind everybody where they can find us.
Yeah, guys. As you all know, I've said it over and over, but Facebook and YouTube, and look, YouTube is a really good one for us. If you can go out to the YouTube channel to actually watch the episodes, that helps us. Full disclosure, we are monetized there, and every little bit helps. I mean, if 500,000 of you go watch it, I think we get $3. So that'll help us out.
No, I mean 5,000 views.
Yeah.
Would be pretty good.
It would be great.
That would yield some nice cash and that can keep this podcast going.
Yeah, and also Apple, Spotify, Stitcher,
and I should mention the schedule. Audio. The people that just listen and you digest this podcast through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Stitcher. I release it very early Monday morning, so when you wake up, it's there for you.
Yep.
I've noticed that's kind of the way for the audio only people, but then the people that want to watch are typically watching at home at night. So the video aspect of this podcast releases on both YouTube and Facebook Mondays at 6 p.m. Central.
Yep.
And the full episode on Facebook, that's something I'm just now experimenting with, and it seems to be working pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of digging that. But if you're a watcher and you're on Facebook, don't feel bad about moving over to YouTube. That would be the best way to support us better than Patreon because it costs them nothing. It costs you nothing.
Right.
To just watch us on YouTube.
Right.
So, and then of course our Patreon is a good way to. We talk about that in depth. Find the link for that. So, and ShelbyRowProductions.com if you're interested in having a free consultation with me. You'll get me directly. We'll figure out how to get a nice little podcast for you if you're interested. And that's it, man. So, Danny McGreger, thank you again.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been fun.
Yes, buddy.
And we will see you in here again. Trust me.
I like the sound of that.
Say that again. You cut off our
I
guest,
didn't mean
Jeff.
to, but you know, I don't want to forget you.
Okay.
That's Derek.
That's Derek.
No, it's not. That's Jeff.
Thanks, guys. Take care.